Hi, we are at day 3 of my Pilates 10-day challenge. So let's get started. Today is all about our backs. So we're going to start in 4-point kneeling with a little bit of cat-cow. So coming onto hands and knees, make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders or just in front of your shoulders and shoulder width apart. Your knees are underneath your hips and your legs and your feet hip width apart. So your spine is in a nice neutral position. Head nice and long, crown of the head reaching away, tailbone going in the opposite direction. From here, take a breath. On your exhale, curl your pubic bone towards your face, round into that cat stretch, trying to get your pelvis underneath you so we get into that lower back, into a little bit of lumbar flexion. Crown of the head, tips of the ears to the floor. Then lift your head up. Draw the back rib cage, shoulder blades down. Open your chest. Sink into that lower back, but use your front stomach muscles to lift the rib cage up. Stick your butt out and arch into that mid back. So just where the bottom of your shoulder blades are, look straight ahead of you. Super glue your hands, try to slide your hands in towards you and feel your rib cage going forward to open up into the chest. And then curl your pubic bone towards your face, round into that back, into your mid back. Head down, chin into the back of your throat. Really get into that lumbar flexion, so curling that tailbone underneath you. And then lift your head up, draw the rib cage, shoulder blades down, open the front rib cage forward. Try to pull your hands in towards you, draw your navel in, arch into that mid-back. Take a breath, exhale, chin down, aim to look down the front of your shirt. Lift your breastbone up, round that rib cage, draw your navel in, push the hips underneath you, and then pull the hips out. Sink into that lower back, open your chest, feel the front rib cage lift upwards. Arch into that mid-back, look straight ahead of you. And then chin into the back of your throat. Look down the front of your shirt, breastbone, ribcage lift, navel lifts. Pressing lightly down into your feet, shins and hands to help you round. This was your last one. Come into a neutral spine. We're doing thread the needle, 2 on each side. Take the right arm out to the side, please, and then take a breath. On your exhale, rotate, reaching the arm up towards the ceiling. Tuck in that left shoulder underneath you to help you rotate. Bring the arm back out to the side and then thread it underneath your left armpit and reach it across. Now, if it's available to you today, you can come down onto that right shoulder, right side of your face, keeping your hips nice and high. Otherwise, just reach the arm through. Push into the left hand, take the right arm out to the side, breathe in. On your exhale, rotate, reaching up towards the ceiling, trying to keep the arm as long as possible. Now reach and try and touch the ceiling and feel that ribcage rotate even more. Bring the arm back out to the side, breathe in, and then exhale as you rotate. Threading the right arm underneath the left arm, reach it across, or come down onto that right shoulder, right side of your head. Keep your hips nice and high. Push into that left hand, and take your right hand to the mat and resituate yourself. Hands hip shoulder width apart, legs and feet hip width apart. 2 to the left. Take the left arm out to the side, please. Breathe in, exhale as you rotate. Now tuck the right shoulder underneath you, reaching up towards the ceiling. Bring the arm back out to the side, breathe in. Exhale as you rotate, threading the left arm underneath the right armpit. Either stay here and continue to reach, or you can come down onto that left shoulder, left side of your head. Keep your hips nice and high. Push into your hand and bring the left arm back out to the side. Pause, breathe in, exhale, rotate, reach the arm up towards the ceiling. Bring the arm back out to the side. Pause, breathe in, exhale, rotate, either reaching through or coming down onto that shoulder, left side of your head. Nice and relaxed, trying not to create any tension into that neck. And then push into your right hand and bring your left hand back down to the mat. Now bend your knees, bring your heels towards your bum. So we're going to do tail wags. So pivot on your knees so the feet come out to the right. Now look over your right shoulder and look for your feet. Pivot to the left, look over your left shoulder, look for your feet, feeling the sort of pinch in the waist, and then to the right, and then to the left, pivoting on the knees, and then to the right, and then last one, to the left, reaching around, come back to center, place your shins back down onto the floor, breathe in, 2 cat-cows, round into that cat back, getting that tailbone underneath you, letting the crown of the head hang towards the floor. Lift your head up, shoulder blades down, front rib cage lifts, use those stomach muscles to float the rib cage forward. And then curl your pubic bone towards your face, tuck it underneath you. Tuck your pelvis underneath, round, head hangs, a little bit of traction into your neck. Let the head feel heavy. And then lift the head up, draw the rib cage, shoulder blades down. Feel the muscles at the front, lifting the rib cage up. Sink into that lower back. And then come into a neutral position. Nice. Come and lie down on your front. You might want to take some pillows or a rolled up towel just to have underneath your hips so it feels a little bit more comfortable. Now hover your forehead off the mat so your head is in a nice neutral position. Reach the arms out. Lightly press your hands down. Legs nice and long, parallel to each other. Lightly press down into the tops of your feet. And then feel almost as if your thigh bones want to lift away from the floor so we get a connection into the hamstrings and your glutes. Press lightly down into your pubic bone and literally lift your belly button off the mat. So I'm just shimmying away and then hover your forehead. From here, lightly press down into your hands and then float both legs away from the floor and then lower them back down. Breathe in. Exhale, draw your belly button away from the floor. Lift the legs, thigh bones lift away from the floor, just a little bit, 2 more. Breathe in, exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Last one. Lift. Inhale to lower. From here, breathe in. On your exhale, lift the left thigh bone up. Lift it up and then reach it away from you as if you're trying to touch whatever is on the other side of your room. Lower that leg back down, trying to keep the pelvis nice and still. Lift the right leg up, lightly pressing into the left side. Reach the left leg away and place it back down. Float the left leg up, lift. Now press into that thigh bone. Keep your hip bones down. Belly button lifting away from the floor and lower. Lift the right leg up, reach it away from you, keep pressing up, find the hamstring, find your glutes. And then lower, 1 more on each side, please. Lift and lower. Keeping everything nice and still. Lift, reach and lower. Last time to the left and lower. Take your hands to your shoulders. Carefully and gently push yourself back into your child's pose or your rest pose, just for a little counter stretch in your lower back. So you can either have your arms nice and long, you can stack your hands one on top of each other and place your forehead on your stacked hands, or you can make fists and place your forehead on your stacked fists. Now I'm going to keep my arms nice and long. Do what works for you. Do you. Now what I want you to do is, while you're here, is curl that pelvis underneath you and finding a nice stretch into that lower back. So when we do extension, so when we're on our front with our backs nice and long, it's always nice to do a counter stretch into flexion. Take a breath into the sides of your rib cage and the back of your rib cage. Exhale, squeeze all the air out. And then come back down onto your front for some more swimming. So this time we are going to reach the arms nice and long. Hover your forehead off the mat, keep that chin tucked in. Legs and feet parallel to each other. Lightly press your feet down. Think of the thigh bones drawing up towards the ceiling. And then pubic bone pressing down and belly button lifting away from the floor. From here, we're now going to lift the arms. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe in. On your exhale, lift both arms. Just hover them off the floor and inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, pushing into the back of the shoulders and down. And exhale to lift. Draw that belly in, protect that lower back. And last one, lift and lower. So we're going to alternate. We'll start with the left. Breathe in. Exhale, lift the left arm up and reach it away from you, but not letting the shoulder come up. And lower. Breathe in. Exhale, lift the right arm. Reach it away from you. Lift it as high as you can without shifting into the rib cage or your hips. Lower down. Lift to the left. Lift it and reach. Try and reach out of that shoulder joint, but don't let the shoulders come up towards your ears. And lower. Lift the right arm up. Lift it. Lift it. Lift. And lower. One more to each side. Lift the left arm. Reach it away from you. And down. Last one. Lift and reach. Lift. 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 And lower the arms down. Back into our child's pose. Hands by your shoulders carefully and gently push yourself back into your child's pose. Place your hands where you feel comfortable, either straight arms, stacked hands, or stacked fists. Make sure you've got a little curl in that pubic bone. If you want to, you can shift from side to side. Breathe into the sides in the back of your rib cage. Exhale, squeeze all the air out. And then come back and lie on your front. So now we're going to do swimming again, but this time we're going to use both arms. We're going to involve both arms and both legs, alternating. So hover your forehead off the mat, keep that chin tucked in. Neck and shoulders nice and relaxed, shoulder blades drawing down towards your back pockets. Lift your belly away from the floor, pubic bone and hip bones pressing down. Thigh bones lightly pressing up to the ceiling to engage those hamstrings and glutes, and lightly pressing your feet down into the mat. From here, we are going to lift your left arm and your right leg at the same time, reaching up and away from you. So they're pulling in opposite directions, and lower back down. Trying not to rock into the trunk. Lift the opposite, so right arm, left leg, press up. Pushing your pubic bone down, navel lifts away from the floor and lower. Lift the left arm, right leg, lift and reach. Reach as far as you can and down. Right arm, left leg, lift, lift, lift and lower. And one more on each side. Left arm, right leg, press. Try not to bend the knee to lift. Lift with the top of the back of your leg and lower. Last time. Right arm, left leg, press up, up, up. And then come back down. Just have a little rest here. I'm going to do one more round and I'll show you a progression if you feel happy to try. If not, just carry on doing what we've just been doing. Now from here, your progression is you're going to draw your navel in, curl your pubic bone towards your face, pull the sides of your rib cage down to meet the top of your pelvis, and then float both arms and both legs away from the mat. Just hover them off the floor, just lightly, closing the front of your rib cage. Now lift the left arm and right leg and reach. and hover back down to the floor. Just hover off the mat. Right leg, right arm, left leg, and down. Left arm, right leg, lift and lower. Right arm, left leg, lift and lower. One more to each side. Left arm, right leg, and down. Right arm, left leg, and lower all the way down. Back into your child's pose for that counter stretch into your lower back. Curling that pubic bone towards your face. And always work up, if you work up to your progressions, using, being mindful of your limitations. Always try a progression. If it doesn't work, you can go back. You can do a few progressions and then go back and then just build into it. So you've always got something to work towards. Pilates is a practice. You don't have to be perfect. We've all started somewhere. Breathe into the sides and the back of your rib cage. On your exhale, pull yourself forward onto hands and knees. Now again, hands in front of your shoulders, shoulder width apart. Knees underneath your hips and your legs and your feet hip width apart. So we're going to do a little bit of single leg stretch. So what I want you to do is slide your right leg out, reach it away from you, and then lift it up, pressing the thigh bone to the ceiling. Reach that leg out of its socket. Imagine I'm holding onto your ankle. I'm gently just pulling that leg, giving you a nice little stretch into the joint. And then bring the knee back in. And press the leg up. Keep your hip bones pointing down, navel drawn in. Knee comes in underneath you, just about belly button height. Don't bring the knee too far in because you'll end up curling in your spine. So just bend at the hip crease, bring the knee in, and then straight legs. We want nice long extension. That is the theme of today's class, is extension. So straight legs, straight spine, top of the head reaching away, toes reaching away from you. Nice long extension. Let's do one more. Knee in and reach back. Bring your knee back in, place it back down onto the floor, resituate yourself. If you find that being on hands and knees or on your wrists is too much, you can always come down onto your forearms and work like this. So it's quite important now to get a little bit of practice into your wrists. Perhaps you might want to get a rolled up towel just to reduce the angle of your wrist to make it feel a bit more comfortable. Now push your hands into the floor, don't sink into the rib cage, and your spine is nice and long. Slide the left leg out and lift, keeping your hip bones pointing down. Knee in, as the knee comes in, top of the head reaches away, tailbone presses away from you, and stretch the leg out. Knee in and lift, knee in and lift. Two more. Knee in and lift and press, knee in, lift and reach nice and long, and then knee comes in. Sit back into your child's pose just for that counter stretch, because we like lumbar flexion when we've done a lot of extension. Breathe into the sides and the back of your rib cage. Exhale, squeeze all the air out and come back up onto hands and knees. We're going to do a little bit of hinging. So take your hands slightly in front of your shoulders so the arms are a little bit longer. And then what I'm going to get you to do is don't push yourself back, but almost feel like I've got hold of your hips and I'm just going to pull those hips back. Keep the hips high, so we're just hinging back. Light in the hands. Now push those hips forward so you come into like a half plank position. If this is too much, if the plank, half plank is too much, just come back to your 4-point kneeling. And then pull the hips back. Nice long spine. Push the hips forward, close the front rib cage, navel gets pulled in. Push the hips back. Trying not to sit onto your heels, but aiming your breastbone down to the tops of your thighs and push into your half plank. Nice long spine. One more. Pull yourself back. Pull the hips back. Feel the work in those hip creases. And then last one, push forward into your half plank. Nice long spine, navel in, front of the rib cage is closed. Now push back into your child's pose for that counter stretch. Nice. Breathing into the sides and the back of your rib cage. Exhale, squeeze all the air out. And then come back and lie on your front. We are going to do a little bit of an exercise called Breaststroke Prep. So what I want you to do is you're going to have your arms in your goalpost position. Let me shimmy back, you can see me. So goalposts, elbow in line with your shoulders, palms down, forehead hovering, legs parallel with each other. I think I'm comfortable now. Hover your forehead, keep looking down the front of your shirt. And then you're going to close the front rib cage, lightly press the tops of your feet down. Lightly press your thigh bones to the ceiling. Keep your pubic bone connected to the floor and lift your belly button away from the floor. Now think about, you just want to hover the rib cage up. Don't lift it. Just hover so you feel like your whole trunk is working. And then lift the arms, hover that there. Inhale, back down. Exhale to lift. And back down. Lift. And lift and hold. Hold it there. See if you can be lighter in your feet. Reach the feet away from you. And then come back down. Turn your head to the right just to loosen off the neck a little bit if it's a little bit niggly. And then turn to the left. And turn to the right. Nice and slow. Again, if this is too much for you, just do what works for you. And then come back. We're going to start adding on to our arms. Hover your forehead, breathe in. Legs nice and long, tops of the feet lightly into the floor. Thigh bones lightly press into the ceiling. Pubic bone down and draw your belly button away from the floor. Close the front rib cage, breathe in. Exhale, lift the arms up. Reach them over your head. Reach the arms back out to the side, as far away from you as you can. And then squeeze the palms into the sides of your legs. And then bend your elbows. And then come back down. Breathe in. Exhale, float up. Reach the arms up towards your ears. Just shoot them forward. Reach them out to the side. Either side of the studio, of your room, not the studio, because I'm here, you're not. Squeeze the palms of your hands into your thighs, navel gets drawn in, bend your elbows, and then come back down. So we're going to add on a little progression here. Again, if it's too much for you, then just keep doing this, just working towards your progressions. If you want to try a little bit more of a challenge, follow me. So from here, breathe in. On your exhale, float upwards. Shoot the arms in front of you, nice and long. Draw the shoulder blades down. Reach the arms out to the side, trying to touch either side of your room. Now bring your hands in towards the side of your thighs and literally reach down towards your ankles and feel that rib cage opening. Look straight ahead of you. And like we do in our cat stretch, cat-cow stretch, you want to feel the work in your mid-back, just underneath the rib cage. Bend your elbows and roll yourself back down. Breathe in. Exhale, shoot the arms forward. Reach the arms out to the side. Breathe in. Exhale the arms in towards your thighs. Now reach your fingertips down towards your ankles. Lift that head. Look straight ahead of you. Open the chest. Use those abdominals to float the rib cage up. Finding the work in your mid-back, not in your lower back. There should be no compression in your lower back. If you find a little bit of a niggle, then curl your pubic bone towards your face or just roll down a little bit. Bring your elbows back into your goalpost. roll yourself back down, and then carefully and gently press yourself back into your child's pose for your counter stretch into that lower back. Remember, you want to have that pelvic curl. So you feel the nice stretch and the opening into that lumbar spine. We're going to hold it here. Just find your nice neutral normal breath pattern, and then walk your hands over to the left. Take your right hand underneath your left hand, super glue your hands to the floor, pull the right hip back towards your right heel, head between your arms, and find a nice side stretch. Now from here, take a small breath in, and then on your exhale, just rotate the rib cage so you're rotating underneath that right armpit. Rotate back, inhale, that's one. Exhale, rotate under your right armpit. Keep that right hip pulling back towards your right heel. Come back to center, walk your hands all the way over to the right, left hand underneath your right hand, super glue your hands to the floor, sit your left bum back towards your left heel, breathe in, exhale, rotate underneath that left armpit, and then to center, breathe in, exhale, rotate, and then inhale back, walk your hands back into your child's pose, just for a nice little breath. One breath in, inhaling into the sides and the back of your rib cage. This time on your exhale, I want you to curl your pubic bone towards your face, and you're going to restack your spine so you end up sitting on your heels. The arms get dragged in because you're restacking your spine. Push yourself into high kneeling, lower the arms down, press into your thighs with your hands, chin into the back of your throat, round down, keeping the hips pushing forward, round down, pull those stomach muscles in to support your spine. Don't let the hips go back, hands on the mat, walk back out onto hands and knees, and then pull your hips back to your child's pose position. I'm going to do one breath into the sides and the back of your rib cage. Exhale, squeeze all the air out and curl your pubic bone towards your face so you end up sitting on your heels, nice and tall, and then come up. Nice. Thank you so much. Day 3, tick off the list. See you tomorrow for day 4.